Okay, so the court is now in session for the case of LS Matt and Mr. Jackson. I'm Judge Ashford, the presiding judge of for this case.
Stop sign to McLean.
Will the prosecution and defense please present themselves? Prosecution, please state your name and role for the record.
I am Bartholomew Flippers III.
Make sure you're shouting.
I'm Bartholomew Flippers III. I'm on prosecution as well with Anya Romanoff.
Okay,
GPT just cooked, so we're chilling for statements.
Perfect.
Okay, make sure you're on shout, please.
Oh, was that up? Oh, sorry. He was talking to me in private. Richard Stroker, for the defence with co-counsel.
Okay, great. Okay, so Mr. Jackson, you're charged with multiple offences. How do you plead to each charge individually? Is it guilty or not guilty?
Can we get a read out of the charges, please?
Yeah, sure. So we got the charge of vehicle theft, reckless driving, and evading.
You're saying not guilty to all?
I'm saying not guilty, Your Majesty.
Is that on all three charges?
I think so. Is that on all three?
Yeah, that does, yeah.
That is correct, Your Majesty.
Okay, great. Okay, the prosecution may now present this case. Please outline the charge and provide any evidence or witnesses to support this case.
What's going on with opening statements?
So, Your Honour, today we told Mr. Jackson accountable for his actions on the night of November 14th. The evidence will show that Mr. Jackson deliberately stole a vehicle, recklessly endangered lives during a high-speed chase. At 11:30 p.m., Officer Jamie Rodriguez, responding to a stolen vehicle report, located the Albany driven by Mr. Jackson, despite orders to stop. He accelerated, reaching speeds of over 90 miles an hour, mounting curbs, and narrowly missing pedestrians. Witnesses will testify to the danger Mr. Jackson posed, including dealership employee Morgan Lee, who saw him near the stolen car before the theft, and pedestrian Taylor Guin, who feared for their life when Mr. Jackson swerved towards them. Physical evidence, including fingerprints on the Albany steering wheel and damage to the car, will confirm his involvement. Also, security footage from the dealership also places him at the scene. Can't move.
Try jumping.
I'm stuck.
Try sitting down.
Hold on.
Thank you. Sorry about that, Your Honour. I was stuck in the chair.
It's okay.
So we'd like to call Mr. Alex Jackson to the stand, please.
Your Honour, I believe we have our opening statements as well.
Yeah.
Just for clarity, prosecution can't call a defendant to the stand. The defendant doesn't have to testify should he not want to. So, in this case, because you presented your opening statement, you'll be seated in defence. We'll offer their opening statement.
All right.
Yeah, so defence, you can now present your case. Please outline any defence strategy.
I'm going to be completely honest. I've just read this statement. That's not right.
Okay, I can waffle.
Yeah.
Hello, Your Honour. Sorry, we had an issue with our opening statement, so I'm kind of going off the cuff here.
Okay.
The evidence sorry, the evidence provided can clearly show a timeline of events, which all we will prove in court that these timelines of events are not possible for my client to be the guilty party. It will also show that the police officer in question did not thoroughly investigate the evidence and my client's statement, as well as improper clarification of evidence as well. Yeah, probably should have got something
Okay,
right.
Defense.
Yeah.
Do you want to call your first witness to the stand?
Prosecution does the first witness.
Okay. Yeah, prosecution.
Prosecution calls Morgan Lee to the stand, please.
Is that the PDM one? Yeah.
Yeah, this is the PDM employee, and obviously we've
Do
got the
the
questions.
questions or do you want me to do them?
You can, but obviously we'll listen to what they.
Yeah. We did turns.
Hello, Miss Morgan Lee.
So, quick
also,
question.
Hello.
Am I in the orange?
First of all, can you
am I the
describe the
orange
vehicle
one?
that was parked at the
Yes.
dealership lot, including its color, location, and any identifying details that caught your attention?
Objection, compound.
As a judge, I would sustain it. Your question has to be specific. If you ask too many questions within one question, that's called a compound question. You have to make the question as simple as possible so that
Okay.
it doesn't complicate the witness.
Miss Morgan Lee, can you describe the vehicle that was parked at the dealership lot?
Yeah, it was a black Albany Olympus.
And could you explain the behavior of the individual you observed near the car before it was stolen?
Well, I couldn't really
Objection,
see him.
compound again.
Sustained.
Could you explain the behavior of the individual?
Well, I couldn't really see him, but they were hanging around by the car quite a bit.
Did you see anyone else approach the vehicle?
No, just the one individual.
And how soon after you noticed the individual did you discover that the car was missing?
Yeah, probably about 5-10 minutes.
When you noticed the individual, could you describe what he's wearing?
Objection. Facts not in evidence. The statement doesn't suggest any male or female, and he asked a question about a male.
I said individual.
You said
As
his.
a judge, I would overrule it. He's not specifically identifying gender. He said individual.
Yep. Okay, overruled.
Yeah, they were wearing like a dark hoodie. They had the hood up, so obviously it's quite dark in there. I couldn't really see their face.
What exactly did you see the individual do in the vehicle?
They were just like loitering by the car.
Okay. Did you see them directly go up to the vehicle?
They were around the area, but yeah, they were sniffing around it quite a bit.
Was there any physical contact with the vehicle?
Not that at all, but as I said, it was quite dark, but they were really close to it.
You want to know further questions? Why co-counsel does.
Your co-counsel has questions.
I think she's in ahead. So.
No, we're good. We're good.
Okay. So can I just check? Is this a chance for defense to?
Yeah, so this would be defense's chance to cross-examine. In case of co-counsel, I wouldn't have two counselors cross-examine one witness. So if you're splitting up your questions, I would split up your witnesses as well, just so that you're not throwing two counselors at one witness. But yeah, this is your time for defense to cross-examine.
Yeah. Defense.
You want me to ask
questions?
these questions?
Yeah, you go for that one.
Good evening there, miss.
Good evening.
At what time of day would you say the vehicle was stolen?
It would have been around 11 p.m. because I was about to close up shop for the evening.
And At what time did you report the stolen vehicle to the police?
Would have been about 11:15, I'd say.
Okay. Just going over my notes. What was the make and model of the vehicle?
As I said, it was a black Albany Olympus. We'd literally just got it in that morning.
As PDM worker, do you usually park a vehicle in the front car park?
Well, it was due to be looked at because people was coming in to buy it. That's why it was there. So we'd obviously just got it in. We was making sure everything was okay, ready to sell it on.
What details did you give the police of the individual?
He was wearing like it was built like a man, I guess, but obviously can't assume gender. But they were wearing a dark hoodie and some jeans. But as I said, it was quite dark. It's not like the best lighting in the lot.
Just going over notes again. What category of vehicle would this be?
What do you mean? Sorry.
As a PDM worker, you would understand what class of vehicle it would be under.
Objection, relevance.
It's highly relevant to other statements in evidence and a line of questioning of the vehicle not being classified as what was apprehended to in some evidence.
Leave this on you, Mr. Ashford.
So I'm inclined to just sustain.
Overrule or sustain? Which one?
I was going to say overrule, actually.
Yes, I would tend to agree.
I mean, it's quite a high end.
You don't answer if it's overruled. Or do you answer? Sorry.
Overruled means your question has been allowed.
Sorry, it's been a long day.
Yeah, I would say it's a very high end vehicle, so they go for quite a bit of money.
No further questions.
Okay. Thank you. You can return to your seat.
No, thank you.
Prosecution, do you have any other witnesses you want to call to the stand?
The prosecution calls for Taylor Ewan to the stand.
Go on, Taylor, give it to them.
Mr. Goyen, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yes.
Can you describe in detail the car you saw speeding?
It was black. Tinted windows. It was going at quite a rate of knots, so I didn't see it that well.
And does it resemble the Albany that has been shown in evidence?
Yes.
Objection. How would the witness have photos of the evidence?
Mr. Goyen, let me rephrase the question. Do you know what the
You need to wait for the judge's ruling.
I think you need to speak up. I think the judge can hear you.
Oh, sorry, could the judge not hear me?
I don't think so.
I know.
Apologies. I objected because the witness would not have access to photos of the vehicle.
Sustained.
The witness wouldn't have.
Okay, Mr. Goyen, do you know what the vehicle Albany looks like? Do you recognize the
No,
model before?
no, I don't know cars that well.
Can you describe how close the vehicle came to hitting you?
Very bloody close.
And how did it affect your sense of safety in the moment?
Oh, I was shocked. I had to have a wee sit down. The police didn't even stop for me.
How would you describe the speed and control of the vehicle when it came past you?
Reckless.
Would you say he was endangering lives around him?
Yes. A couple of millimeters more and he would have hit me.
Objection. The witness is not a trained police officer and would not know what reckless driving would entail.
Reckless is an adjective, sir.
Sustained.
Did you observe any other individuals or vehicles in the vicinity?
Yes, there was a police car that was following it at high speeds. And again, they didn't stop for me. I had to call 999 myself.
After the incident, how did you feel about the driver's behaviour?
Objection. Relevance. The feeling of this is nothing to do with the suspicions at hand and the I've forgotten the terminology. The things against my client today. What's the word? Charges. That's the one. Thank you.
Sustained.
Would you say your life was in danger when the vehicle came past you?
Yes.
And in what direction did the vehicle travel? If we look at, the area as a compass. north, east,
Objection.
south, west.
Compound. And also testifying.
Please.
Yeah, sustained.
No further questions.
Okay, thank you. Defense, any
I
questions?
don't really have any questions apart from one. Do you have any questions?
No.
Hello. We've only got one question. What time did you provide the statement?
It was about, I would say about 12:30.
So that would be of the 15th, not the 14th.
Yes.
No further questions.
Okay, thank you. You want me to take your seat?
It proves that it was
Good job,
past
Mr.
date,
McLean.
post dated.
Oh, that was fun.
Do the prosecution have any more witnesses they wish to call to the stand?
Yes, one more. Prosecution calls Jamie Rodriguez, the arresting officer, to the stand.
Let's get this son of a bitch.
Hey, don't call me a fucking bitch. Who do you think you're talking to? Hey! Are you fucking crazy?
Control yourself. We can get
Sorry,
him
sorry.
for being
Okay. Sorry.
badgering the
Okay.
Order in
witness.
the court, order in the court.
Order.
Mr.
Sorry.
Rodriguez, can you walk us through your decision-making process when you identified the vehicle?
In what terms?
In terms of how did you come to the conclusion that the vehicle was the one that was in fact stolen?
So essentially we receive dispatch calls to tell us vehicles have been stolen, or when someone is attempting to steal a vehicle. The minute the dispatch went off, I made my way towards. As I arrived, it sort of was in the precarious area of the dispatch call.
What behaviours did you observe during the pursuit that led you to describe the driver's actions as reckless and dangerous?
The driver made deliberate evasion techniques, such as using alleyways and mounting pavements, driving fast, and again, recklessly to evade being caught and escape my pursuit.
And can you describe the process of the apprehending of Alex Jackson near the abandoned vehicle?
Yeah, so when I came across the abandoned vehicle, I made some attempts on foot to find said person. As I turned the corner, I caught the eye of Mr. Jackson over there. It was very clear immediately that he had been spooked by the fact I found him and made deliberate attempts again to flee from my custody and avoid being captured.
As an officer, when you go to apprehend a suspect and they are indeed found guilty at a later date,
Objection compound.
It's contextual to my question.
He's not asked a question yet.
Yeah, overruled.
Mr. Rodriguez, would you say fleeing from police is a sign of guilt?
In my experience, yes. However, you can quite often just come across people who are genuinely petrified. But I don't believe so in this occasion. I believe Mr. Jackson is guilty to his core.
Okay, and what condition was the Albany in when you inspected it after the pursuit?
There was clear damage to areas in which he had contacted both traffic signs and pavements and other vehicles during the pursuit.
Okay, and was there any indication that Alex Jackson was not the only person in the vehicle at the time of the pursuit?
At the time of the pursuit, I only witnessed one person inside the vehicle. But I couldn't tell you if it was Mr. Jackson or not. I was unable to see a face.
Okay, can you describe Mr. Jackson, his appearance when you apprehended him?
When I apprehended him,
Yep.
I mean, he fitted the description of the suspect, average height, sort of hooded clothes, jeans. There wasn't a sort of specific description. It was a very vague description.
So, would you say that he fit the description of the person in the CCTV?
I hadn't seen the CCTV at that time, but there was enough to go on from the witness at the time that Mr. Jackson fitted the description. Yes.
Okay, and did you have constant view of the suspect during the entire pursuit?
Up until he decamped on foot, I had a constant view of the vehicle. Once he decamped on foot, there was a brief period of time where I lost eyes.
Okay. And as an officer, to experience, how valuable are fingerprints as evidence?
In my experience, fingerprints can quite often be the nail in the coffin, in the proverbial coffin.
So you would say they're quite, concrete evidence.
The objection asked and answered.
Sustained.
No further questions.
Thank you. Defense, it's your chance to cross-reference, cross-examine.
What we got?
You want me to take this as well?
If you want, yeah, go on.
Yeah?
Yeah, if you want.
Hello there, officer. What was the description of the 999 call?
The original 999 call was help, someone is stealing this vehicle.
And what time did that go through?
Approximately 11:30.
So that would be 15 minutes after the PDM worker stated that they made the phone call.
I'm unsure.
Why did you not provide a photograph of the suspect on scene?
The photograph of the suspect on scene wouldn't have been taken. The suspect would have been processed properly in the PD, whereas photographs were being taken for the MDT. However, we don't take photographs of suspects on scene on usual, unless it's something like a union or evangelical where we're witness them hold up a hostage or something like that. It's all in the moment. We arrested him, took him to my car, and did my investigations from there.
Why was a photo not taken in the cells then?
In the cells, it would have been, but it's on his MDT, not for evidence.
why is it not added as evidence?
I don't think him being in the cells is evidence that he committed a crime. Him being in the cells is evidence I've arrested him on suspicion.
Is it possible you arrested him and he wasn't dressed as described?
No, that would mean I'm perjuring myself. That's not something I do as an officer of the law.
While documenting the vehicle, why did you not take a photo of the plate?
If the plate's not in the photograph, then it would have been on my ANPR.
Why is your ANPR not in evidence?
I don't know, ask prosecution. They're the ones that cross-examine the evidence. I just provide what we've taken.
And as you stated, you have the use of an ANPR. Why did you only estimate the speeds when you had use of your ANPR?
Because I'm a very experienced officer. And when an estimation, that is the speeds of which it's been clocked. So it would have been clocked at 30 miles an hour. It would have been clocked at 50 miles an hour. It would have been clocked at 90 miles an hour.
Okay. Thank you for that. What is the minimum speed limit according to the city laws?
The minimum, I'm assuming that's 0 miles an hour. 'cause
No,
that's
sorry,
what the minimum a car will do.
What is the minimum maximum speed? I was meant to ask.
Minimum maximum speed, depending on the area, but the area in question would have been 35.
How was the 35 mile an hour zone notified?
Through the laws of the city.
So there was no signage to declare it was 35 miles per hour?
Objection, relevance.
The relevance is the city law states that the speed limit, maximum speed limit is 50 miles an hour. And he's stating that there was a 35 mile an hour zone within the city.
Overruled.
Or would you like me to ask the question again?
Yeah, go for it, mate.
Where was it signposted, this 35 miles per hour?
Where is it signposted any speed limit within the city, mate? When was the last time speed limit sign within the city?
Objection, relevance. Like, if he was caught speeding, 35 to 50 doesn't make a difference.
You can't double object to the same question that's just been. Or am I incorrect?
No, overruled.
What's the question, Mr. Stroker? My question to you is, the guy was caught going at 90 miles an hour. You're asking me if 55 miles an hour is the speed limit. Regardless of what you're telling me, the speed limit is what he was caught at. Again, it's something that isn't seen around the city, and if you can find a speed limit...
Your Honour, permission to treat the witness as hostile.
Well, what do I do here?
I would tend to agree with him, to be honest.
So what do I do? Just agree and...
Yeah, he can treat me as hostile if he wishes.
Yeah, agreed.
Sorry, just looking over my notes again. Is it possible that you inputting the registration plate of the vehicle could have mistakenly missed or changed a figure?
No, negative.
With the vehicle being registered to PDM, why did it not show up in your call?
In my what, sorry?
Sorry, in your search of the vehicle, why did it not show up as the PDM being the owner of the vehicle?
Because PDM's not the owner. It's a showroom car, so it doesn't have a current owner. It's straight off the manufacturing line, as far as I'm to believe. 'Cause, 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 'cause
Sorry, just looking over notes again. Why did you not call for additional units?
I did call for multiple additional units, but this city, man, police force is finding an active.
Objection, relevance.
The relevance here is that if multiple officers were available, multiple officers on duty, then surely it would state that in his statement that he had requested additionals. I'm trying to find out why he has not.
It is not necessary regarding to the case.
Sustained.
How did you find out if the vehicle was tampered with?
Well, I mean, the door had scratches on it where he would have lockpicked it. The key, the ignition was pulled fully from the dashboard as well, which showed clear signs of someone trying to hotwire it.
The scratches to the passenger side of the vehicle?
No. The driver's side door, where he attempted to break into the car through the lock.
Which in your photo D, I believe in evidence, shows no markings on the vehicle.
Sorry, do you need me to go back and take a photo of the door?
No, it's already in evidence.
Okay. And then there's your answer, right? I took photos of the scene as presented. Should I have been more thorough? Maybe.
So once you got the CCTV, how did you determine that was the stolen vehicle with the low quality?
I mean, the vehicle very vaguely matches the description of the black vehicle. But as I've said in my previous statement, the gentleman made no attempt to pull over for the traffic stop, and he was in the area of the call. The car matched the brief description. That's enough for me to pull him over and do a traffic stop. When he decides to flee, then I have to then continue my job and chase.
As you previously mentioned to the prosecution's question, you lost eyes on the suspect after he left the vehicle?
Correct.
So how did you determine that this individual was the individual that was in the vehicle?
I feel like I'm repeating myself here. Mr. Jackson fitted the description of the suspect, and he made no attempt to have a conversation with me. And the minute he saw me and locked eye, he made multiple attempts to flee on foot. I'm just better, I guess.
Okay. Let me just look at my notes again. When fingerprints come back to no match, what does that mean?
It can either mean that the person the fingerprint belongs to is not on our system, i.e. has never been arrested before, or it could mean that it's a partial match, which means it doesn't fully match an individual.
So, as the fingerprints in evidence shows, why did you claim that the fingerprints in evidence was of my client?
I never claimed. I said it's a partial match, if you read my statement.
Let me just read over that again, sorry. Your fingerprint analysis states that the fingerprints confirmed to match the defendant. Do you wish to retract your statement?
I said it partial match to the defendant, not a full match. If you can read, Mr. Schroker.
Yes, and you're saying it was later confirmed. How did you do this confirmation?
I didn't confirm. It's a lab analysis, and again, me just read my statement, but I'm pretty sure it says partial. Partial prints removed from the steering wheel, which later confirmed to match the defendant, Alex Jackson, in the preliminary analysis. That does not say that it's a full match, it's a partial match.
To which your evidence comes back to no match.
To which the evidence comes back as a partial match. One of them comes back as a no match, which, again, it's the same fingerprint, it's just not a full match.
Okay, I'm just looking over notes again. Apologies, Your Honour. You're charging my client today with evading from police. What evidence do you have that points towards evading from police?
The fact he ran when he saw me, for one. But then also, we believe him to be the suspect that was in the car that evaded police.
You are aware of what the definition of evading police is?
Yes, making deliberate attempts to escape police via vehicle or on foot. Fleeing from police custody in a motor vehicle with willing or wanting disregard for safety for one's man's self or safety or others, or in a manner that would likely cause injury or death. Pretty sure that quite ineptly describes the evading in a vehicle, which he did originally.
Which penal code is this, I'm afraid?
You're afraid of what?
Oh, which penal code is this?
Objection, relevancy.
I'm trying to determine what the actual charges are of my client.
Penal Code 2028, Mr.
Sustained.
Stroker.
Overruled, sorry, overruled.
Penal Code 2028 states that he would have to flee from police custody.
Police custody means he has... Police custody is a very it's a very wide description. Police custody means he's evading being in police custody, not evading whilst in police custody. That would be escaping custody. Evading means he's avoiding it.
Let me just have a look over my notes. Why was no time spent investigating my client's alibi?
And what is your client's alibi, may I ask?
It is in his statement that was submitted to police.
So that statement would be that he is walking by himself to a car he has parked mere yards from where he is found. Is that correct?
Yes, leaving a friend's house.
Leaving a friend's house, and he never gave the name of the friend, therefore we could not check up on that statement. But he also claims he was walking by himself, so can't really corroborate someone who's by himself.
Just to look over my notes. Just going to confirm my co-counsel for a second.
Your Honour, I have dinner to have.
Do you have anything else to ask?
Yes, Mr. Stroker, can we hurry this up, please?
Yep, sorry, Your Honour, we have no further questions.
Okay, thank you. You may return to your seat.
Thank you, Your Honour.
Prosecution, do you have any more witnesses or evidence you wish to bring forward?
Can we just pause for a moment? I believe we have a bike inside of the city hall.
Better not be my fucking bike. Otherwise we will be going to fucking court.
what's happened here? What have I missed?
Apparently, there's a motorbike driving around in the city hall.
Oh, okay. Motherfucker!
No further questions.
So, guys, you come here often?
For you, yeah. What, Crazy?
Sorry.
Excuse me, sir, you need to leave.
Right, let's get the show carried on. Prosecution, do you have any more witnesses you wish to call to the stand?
Nope.
Are we going to call
I
the
guess-
suspect?
Do I give the defence the option now to call any witnesses?
Yes, this is their opportunity to call their witnesses up.
Yep.
Again, just for clarity in the whole entire thing, the defense do not have to provide a statement if they do not wish. It's the prosecution's burden to prove guilty. Who's the gentleman in the...
Sir, you've already been asked to leave.
So are we going to call him up as a suspect witness?
Defence, do you wish to call anyone to the stand?
We're just conferring 1 minute, Your Honour. I would say we wouldn't have to call him, but it's up to you, and I've got the questions there you can take.
Sorry, who going? That was getting
Would we call the suspect? To you. I do have the questions there in case you wanted to, but we don't have to.
It's up to you. Do you have questions are needed?
We can get clarifying questions. Yeah.
If you want, it's up to you.
Yeah, you can call him up in question.
Can you show
Honor, he's
questions
clearly
and,
guilty and he's trying to pursue...
Your Honour, please control your court and your witness.
Hey, order in the court! Order! Order! Sit down, bastard.
Yeah, just shove
Please control your
shove
defendant.
questions in there.
I'm your witness.
Did you say you did want to do or did not?
Oh, did he? Yeah.
Ah,
Did you say you did want to take him up
yeah,
or
we
did
can,
not?
yeah, we can, yeah.
Yeah, and you'll ask
We,
the
we
questions.
taking a move on stroke
Yeah,
here,
just
or-
shove them.
Stroke,
Right, sorry, we're still discussing. Hi, we're still discussing. Please be patient. Thank you.
Yeah,
Never mind the
please.
week you've had to prepare for this case.
Thank
God
you, Your
damn it.
Majesty.
Does anyone want to buy a loom band?
What?
Objection.
Yeah, go ahead. You can call,
relevance.
if you want to call him, and then you can take the questions.
Where's the questions?
Boring,
Did
the
you put one?
witnesses, come on. You make a
Underneath the
decision and
suspect
now.
on the mock trial planning questions.
Yeah, I'll take the loom band off you, okay?
I'll say that.
Yep.
I'll sell it later.
Okay,
What-
thank you.
So
We'll call-
at this point, I'm like,
At this point, I
He's
would...
clearly taking the piss
I
of
would,
it,
I would
so-
threaten to hold
Hi,
defense and
Your Honour.
consent.
Hi. Please be quiet, people. Thank you. I'd like to call. I don't even know his name.
Alex Jackson.
Alex Jackson. I'll call Alex Jackson to the stand.
Guilty.
All right, fat boy.
Watch your fucking mouth, you know, if you want, do you want to
I'm
take
your
a step
lawyer.
outside?
Sit down.
Mr. Jackson,
Please control
please
the suspect.
to the witness stand.
Sorry, Your Majesty.
Mr. Jackson.
Hello?
At what time did you leave your friends on the night in question?
About 11 o'clock.
Okay. How long does it usually take to get home from your friend's house?
Well, you know, I'm a little bit old, you know, so it's a little bit longer. Yeah, I'd say maybe like 25 minutes.
Okay. What were you wearing when you got arrested?
What was I wearing?
Yes.
I don't really remember. I think it was I think it was a t-shirt maybe. I don't remember.
Do you know what color of t-shirt?
Maybe like black, I think.
Okay. Any other description you can give us? Is that all?
Maybe like maybe like a black pair of trousers as well.
Okay.
Objection, speculation.
That's too big for my dictionary. What does that mean?
Speculation means you're guessing how a person felt. So, for example, I would say, is it true that you resented someone? That's a speculation. It's cause for speculation because you don't know how he felt.
Yeah,
I'm,
so it's-
I'm still so confused, but okay.
So the objection for speculation is because the testimony from the suspect said multiple times he does not remember, and obviously at this point he is trying to speculate on what he was wearing.
Right, okay.
It's not speculation, though. I am telling the truth. It is factual, you know. This is this is not true.
It's sustained, yeah.
Okay, Your Majesty.
Cheers, Your Majesty. What did the officer say was the description of the suspect they were looking for when you were like confronted by him?
He's just saying to me, you know, you are matching the description of someone wearing all black, and obviously, you know, I suppose I'm wearing the all black, but maybe he's insinuating like jumper, and I'm a bit too big for jumper, you know.
Yes, I can see that.
Okay.
What vehicle do you own?
What vehicle do I own?
Yes.
Objection, relevance.
The reason we're in court here, mate, is a car theft. There you go. There's your relevance.
Yeah, overruled.
I own, let me see, I own 2 bikes, a Gauntlet Hellfire, all red, and a couple of other cars, you know. I don't own whatever car, I think it's called like an Albany or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Give me a second, my old notepad as I started typing. That's it's pretty cool, magical. What is the registry? It's not right. What is the registration of the vehicle you own?
What one, sir?
We'll go to cars because bikes are relevant. It wasn't. This doesn't do a bike.
Am I allowed to pull out my phone, Your Majesty, and check my
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's a big Sal. So BIGSAL.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Interesting plate.
Thank you.
Were you driving the night of the arrest?
No, sir. I was walking.
Okay. Have you ever driven an Albany? Have you said?
I don't even know what an Albany is.
Okay. And no more further questions, Your Honor.
Okay.
Going good.
Can I check, because the defense has now brought him to the stand, the
Yeah.
prosecution
Prosecution
get a chance,
can cross-examine now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prosecution, do you wish to cross-examine?
Yeah.
Oh, don't stand up too quickly, you know. You frightened me a little bit, you know. Thought you were going to come right at me.
Don't worry, I'll control the objections.
Sorry.
Mr. Jackson. Obviously, you stated that you are leaving your friend's place at around 11 p.m. during the night. Could you maybe let obviously everybody in court to know what you were doing at the house?
Objection relevance.
The question is there to obviously see if the suspect can remember and recall previous events of the night. That would either prove or dispute his guilt. If he recalls the events, then obviously he would be less guilty as somebody who was not at the location of the crime committed.
Overruled.
What does that mean? Do I have to answer?
Yes.
Would you like me to repeat the question?
Yes, please, Your Majesty.
So the question is what you were doing at your friend's house at the time that the crime was being committed.
So what I was doing at his house? So
Yes.
what I was doing is I was I was having a little bit of drinking, you know, drinking the whiskey, and we were watching the American football. Then at roughly about 11 o'clock, I'm leaving his house and walking, because I am not I'm not going to drive whilst I'm drinking, you know.
That is very admirable of you. Referring back to your statement, you said you were near your parked car when the police officer approached you. Could you give us the reason why you fled, which you admitted to, from the officer when he approached you?
I'm sorry, what? Why did I flee?
Why did you flee from the officer when he approached you?
I was a little bit tipsy, you know. I thought he was going to rob me. I think it was a little bit of misunderstanding.
He's actually got this for us.
Did you, at any point when the officer approached you, try to communicate with him?
No, because you know, at 11 o'clock at night, you know, I'm a bit old. You know, I'm a vulnerable target for pickpocketing, and you know, I see somebody walking towards me whilst I'm a little bit tipsy. So I'm obviously not going to stay around, you know.
But you've obviously identified the person who approached you as a police officer.
No, I couldn't see him, but obviously I'm not going to take the chance. You know, this is I think it's just a little bit of misunderstanding.
I would just like to go back on your previous statements when speaking to the defense, and also the statement that you gave that is submitted in evidence. You specifically said the officer approached you and informed you that you matched the description of somebody who was involved in the crime of the car theft.
Yeah, this was after.
Objection asked and answered.
Sustained.
There was no question asked yet.
The defence asked, obviously, what did the police officer state when trying to arrest? And you're asking the same question.
I did not ask a question. That was a statement.
Then, if it's a statement, subjection, testifying.
I have yet to ask my question. Can I ask my question?
Yeah, continue with your question.
One moment, please. I just need to recall what I said.
Yeah, that's okay. I forgot what I was going to say, so that's what I said.
Your Honor, would it be okay to repeat the process from the beginning?
Yeah.
Right. So, according to your statement that you gave the defense and the statement that you gave and which was supplied in evidence, it specifically says that the officer approached you and informed you that you matched the description of somebody who was involved in the car theft, meaning that the officer already had some form of contact with you. Why did you at that point not stop and communicate with the officer?
As I'm saying, this is after I stopped running and realizing who he was. So obviously he must have not typed it up correctly, you know.
Could you clarify if you typed your statement or if you gave a verbal statement?
Who, me or him?
You.
I know that I gave it verbally, but he was typing it on his MacBook, I think they're called.
Is there any reason why you would not provide the court and the officer with the name of your friend that you were leaving his place?
I didn't. He didn't ask me the question. You know, he didn't ask about the name. So I didn't think I was obligated to tell him. I obviously said to him that he lives in the Sandy Shore area, but he didn't ask me his name.
And do you maybe recall which vehicle you had parked that you were walking to at the time?
And as I'm saying, I didn't drink. No, sorry, not drink. I didn't drive because I was drinking. Obviously, you know, this is I'm not going to do it. I was stopped outside near like a black car, but obviously, you know, I wasn't intending to get into it. I didn't even have my my keys on me, you know.
All right, but according to your statement, you say you are near a parked vehicle when the officer came up to you. So obviously, if it is your parked vehicle, I'm just asking if you would maybe recall which vehicle. I understand you have been drinking the same night, but if you recall which car you came with to your friend's house.
Objection, badgering.
Badgering would suggest that she's pressing the witness for an answer that she desires. So, for example, she's asked a question, the witness didn't give the answer she wants, so she keeps pressing on the same question in a term that is seen as aggressive or pushing for a specific answer.
So sustained.
Mr. Jackson, would there be any other reason why your partial fingerprints would be on the steering wheel of the stolen vehicle?
Objection. Facts not in evidence.
The evidence is the partial fingerprints that match Mr. Jackson's. So we are trying to see if there's any other reason why his fingerprints would be on the car that was stolen.
As previously discussed, the fact that the prints match my client is not relevant in evidence. Same was testified with the previous witness.
It is a partial match.
As a judge, I would overrule it, yeah.
Yeah, overruled.
And Mr. Jackson, do you need me to ask you again?
Yeah, sorry, you know, all this conversating, I'm confusing me. Can you ask again?
Yeah, no problem. Would there be any other reason why your partial fingerprints would be on the steering wheel of the stolen vehicle in question?
Not that I'm aware of, Your Royal Highness.
All right. That's all questions.
Okay. You can return back to your seat now.
Sorry, is that me? Thank you, Your Majesty.
Yeah. Defense, do you have anyone else you wish to call to the stand?
No, Your Honor.
Perfect.
Okay.
It's your time for closing statements, Your Honor.
Yeah, so we'll now hear closing arguments from the prosecution. Please summarise your case, highlighting key points and evidence.
Do you want to take closing?
So I was just,
yeah.
Let me cook something up in my head.
Okay.
We'd like to mention many things. There's consistent descriptions of the suspect. There's a partial fingerprint match on the wheel. Mr. Jackson clearly has no respect for the safety of the public. He's been recorded driving at reckless speeds, endangering Mr. Taylor Guerin's life, as well as CCTV alignment of him tampering and sealing the vehicle. I ask that you find him guilty on all accounts. He also attempted to flee, which shows signs of guilt. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Now the defence may present its closing arguments. Again, please summarise your case and address any weakness in the prosecution's case.
Your Honour, people at the court. As we come to the end of this trial, I want to remind you all one important fact. The prosecution has the burden of proving beyond a reasonable doubt that my client is guilty of stealing this vehicle. That's a very high standard, and it's one they have failed to meet. Throughout this trial, you have heard a lot of testimony and seen various pieces of evidence, but when you carefully examine the evidence, you'll see there's serious gaps in the prosecution's case. First, the identification of my client as the person who took the car is shaky at best. There is no clear fingerprints or physical evidence linking to my client to the vehicle. The witness, while they have meant well, have provided inconsistent and unreliable statements about what happened. There is doubt about whether they even saw my client near that car. So, Your Honour.
Okay, thank you.
If
The jury will now take some time to consider the evidence presented and arguments made by both sides. It's important to ensure that the decision made is based solely on the evidence presented in court and is fair and just. Court will be adjourned for 5 minutes. Can everyone hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Call him to the stand first, so you've got him there, trembling in his boots.
Yep. just looking
What?
for his name.
Crazy.
Mr. Alex Jackson, can you take the stand, please?
Just where
Your
it says
Honour.
stand.
You better get control of that fucking police officer, you know. I'm going to offer him outside in a fucking minute.
Criminal threats against a government employee.
Okay, Mr.
Yeah, I
Jackson.
was joking.
Freedom of speech.
On all charges, Mr. Jackson, the court finds you not guilty.
yes, you fucking dancer.
Yes, I thought that would be the case.
Sorry. Thank you, Your
and
Honour.
that decision's final.
Thank you, Your Majesty.